All right, let's jump right in. For years, it's felt like electric cars were always just around the corner. But 2026? This is something different. We're talking about the year the electric car finally stops being a cool niche product and becomes a real, practical, and frankly, a smart choice for millions of people. The market is, at long last, truly coming of age.
I mean, wow. This slide really tells the whole story, doesn't it? Just look at the difference between 2021 and 2026. It's a night and day comparison. Just 5 years ago, if you bought an EV, you were a pioneer. You had to be willing to make some big compromises on range, on charging, and definitely on price. But fast forward to 2026, the numbers are just incredible. Range has practically doubled, charge times are slashed in half, and those starting prices have dropped dramatically. This isn't just a small step, it's a complete transformation of the market.
So what does all of this actually mean? Well, it brings us to our first big idea, the tipping point. 2026 isn't just another year of progress. It marks the end of that chaotic early adopter phase and the beginning of a stable, mature, and truly accessible era for electric cars.
And this phrase just perfectly captures that shift in thinking. The debate is no longer about if an EV works. Thanks to tougher emissions rules and massive investment from car makers into purpose-built EV platforms, the game is totally changed. So the real takeaway here is that the industry is all in. And the result for you and me, a flood of amazing electric cars that were designed from the ground up to be electric.
This brings us to what is, for my money, the single biggest story for 2026. The accessible revolution. Because look, cool tech is one thing, but price? Price is what really opens the floodgates to the masses. And that is the new battleground for every single car maker out there.
This number, 25,000 euros. This is the magic number. You could almost call it the new threshold for mass adoption. It's the price where an electric car stops being a luxury item or just an environmental statement and starts being a smart, logical purchase for the average family.
And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you can get a stylish, practical electric car for this kind of money, one that's cheaper to run and filled with all the latest tech, does the old gas-powered car still make sense for most of our daily driving? It's a really powerful question to think about.
And these right here, these are the cars that are making it all happen. We're not talking about boring, stripped-down models anymore. Just look at this list. The Renault 5 and the new Twingo are bringing back fun and iconic style. The Citroën SC3 and the electric Fiat Panda are all about smart, practical design. These aren't just cheap cars, they are genuinely desirable cars that also happen to be affordable and electric.
But hold on, because this revolution isn't just happening at the budget-friendly end of the market. Let's take a look at the high end, where the very idea of what makes a car premium is being completely rewritten. It's not just about horsepower anymore.
You see, in the premium world, it's now all about the total experience. Porsche is taking its legendary performance and pairing it with charging so fast, you're back on the road in less than 25 minutes. BMW is laser-focused on long-distance comfort and absolutely mind-blowing in-car tech. And then you've got brands like Mercedes and Audi that are just pushing the limits of refinement, quietness, and using sustainable materials.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second from the individual cars and look at the global picture, because the old, established car world is being shaken to its core by two huge global trends that are changing everything. And here they are. On one side, you have this incredible surge from China, a wave of new brands hitting Europe with aggressive prices and really innovative tech. And on the other side, Japan's big awakening. We're talking about the giants of the industry who maybe held back a little at first, but are now jumping into the EV game with their full engineering power.
And these Chinese brands aren't all the same. They each have their own clever strategy. You've got BYD leading with its super safe and durable Blade battery tech. NIO is doing something totally unique with its battery swapping stations, which is a wild idea. And then others like XPeng and Leapmotor are fighting on the fronts of software and smart partnerships to get a foothold.
And after years of being the kings of hybrid, just look at this. Toyota is finally going all in. Nissan, who pretty much started this whole thing with the original Leaf, is unleashing a whole new family of cars. And Honda is hitting the reset button with its Zero Series, a totally fresh start. The sleeping giants are wide awake, and for us, that means way more choices and even better cars.
Okay, so we've seen the new cars, we've seen the global players, but what's the actually technology that's making this all possible? Let's pop the hood, so to speak, and see what's really driving this 2026 revolution. If there's one piece of tech you need to know about, it's this:
800-volt architecture. Now, to put it simply, by using a higher voltage, think of it like having a wider pipe for water. The car can just drink in electricity way faster. This is the secret sauce that makes long road trips in an EV not just possible, but genuinely easy. And this slide just nails the real-world difference. A few years ago, a fast charge meant finding a place to have a long lunch. Now, with these 800-volt systems, we're talking about a quick pit stop, just enough time to grab a coffee and stretch your legs. It completely changes the road trip experience and gets rid of one of the biggest worries people have had about switching.
The other gigantic leap forward is in the car's brain. We are so far beyond just having a tablet stuck to the dashboard now. Modern EVs are true software-defined vehicles. The software is the central nervous system, controlling everything from how the car drives to intelligently planning your entire trip, including the charging stops.
And it all comes together here. Cheaper, really durable LFP batteries, which use iron instead of pricey metals like cobalt, are what make those sub-€25,000 cars a reality. Over-the-air updates mean your car literally gets better while you're sleeping, just like your smartphone. And then, just over the horizon, we have solid-state batteries promising even more range and incredible lifespans. The speed of innovation is just breathtaking.
So, let's pull all these threads together. The prices, the tech, the global competition. When you do, it leads to one clear, inescapable conclusion about 2026.
Really, what this all boils down to is that 2026 is the year it all finally clicks into place. First, the choice is finally there. Whatever you need, whatever your budget, there's an EV for you. Second, the prices have finally hit that sweet spot for the mass market. And third, the technology is just ready. It's mature, it's convenient, and it's built for the real world.
You know, this quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't some far-off prediction anymore. The proof is all around us. The transition is happening right now, and the direction is crystal clear.
And on that powerful note, I just want to say a huge thank you for joining me for this look at the electric car revolution of 2026. It's so clear that this isn't just another year in the car business, it's the start of a whole new road ahead for all of us. So, I'll leave you with one final thought. We've seen how all the big barriers, price, range, choice, are finally crumbling. So for you, personally, what's the last piece of the puzzle? What's the one thing that would convince you to make the switch? It's definitely something we're all going to be thinking about.